We out here to please the Most High in Christ by teaching this word, man. Why you sitting up in your room, man? Look like you grounded or something, man. You on punishment or something, man? Why you ain't out there teaching that word, man? Go
ahead. Cause niggas called GMSNESitdown, dumbass. and if you understand first and then rebuke, you will see how other pages go be clearly on the highway. Alright? Doing the work. Alright. So sun up to sundown, from hot weather to the winter. Alright? As they say in my hometown, we out here, man. We out here.
1 Corinthians 11:1. Be ye followers of me, even as I also am of Christ. Now I praise you, brethren, that you remember me in all things, and keep the ordinances as I delivered them to you. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ.
Right, the head of every man is Christ. Christ is our head. So Paul is not talking about a literal head covering. But see, you brothers are so carnal-minded that you thinking that you take everything literally. But if you take Paul's words literally, you will believe that the law is done away with. Don't Paul say that Christ is the end of the law? But you have to do further research and see that word "end" means goal. So you can't read this with a carnal mind, man. He said the head of every man is Christ.
Emotion. All right, so it's twofold. All right, but what we're saying, the reason why I'm bringing it up is twofold, because covering your head is twofold. But it's mainly, our face value is talking about physical. All right, our face value is talking about physical. Now, it didn't lay it out there to say that Christ is your head. You ought not to cover your head. Don't put Satan above it. Don't put your mind above Christ. But it's also physical. All right, just like I said with the circumcision. The circumcision is spiritual. It's talking about the law, but it's also physical. You have to get circumcised.
Every man praying or prophesying, having his head covered, dishonoreth his head.
Oh, let's get that. Let's get into that. Okay, because you do not go into Greek, you do not go into Hebrew, you don't like that.
You go into it.
All right.
You knew that the end goes.
That's it. All right, in that verse 4 specifically, the word is kata. All right, let me see if I like this. Give me my clear. Say you be tripping.
Say he was tripping yesterday.
I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it now. All right, but the point is the K-A-T-A, kata. All right, it says down from, throughout, according to, toward, along. That's the definition. But when you go into the Hebrew.
Wait. We're gonna get you got the other word up there too?
Yep.
Before that one, get that definition. Okay.
It's katakalipto. All right, which is basically the same thing. But it's like an action or present tense type of thing. It says to cover up, to veil over, to veil or cover oneself. So basically, katakalipto goes into verse 7? Verse 6, yeah, verse 6. Because once you read in 11, once you go to 11:4, where it says cover, that's the only time it says kata. But after that, it says katakalipto, which means to literally cover up. All right? And once you go into Hebrew, all right, that's when the banger comes out. All right? New Testament right here. New Testament, you go to the Hebrew New Testament, you know, for y'all brothers, you can look it up for yourselves, you know, and nigga, you just shut up and listen, you know. I don't even know what to tell you, because you ain't gonna look it up. You probably look it up just to try to debunk the truth. Alright? But basically it's Call Ayash Ashar. Are we missing some words?
No, it's Hebrew, so it's like straightforward.
Alright, Call Ayash Ashar. You go ahead.
Okay. It's call Ayash Ashar Yachapalah. This right here is Awa. Then you got right here Yathanaba. Then you got right here Rashwa, which Rash is head.
Yep. Rash is your physical, your crown, your dome. Right.
Then you got Makasa.
Makasa.
Now this word.
So basically what we just said is you go reiterate it in Greek. Just take it word for word.
Okay, the call is all. Ayash's men. Ishar means like to pray or pronounce happily. Yachapalah means to pray. Iwa is like then, in this case, or therefore. I didn't get this definition for Yathana, but I didn't write that one down, so I can. And then Warashwa is head, and Makasa is that cover.
Oh, Yathana is prophesied.
Kind, like yeah.
So basically, it says basically he that basically pray or prays or prophesying with his head. Makasa. All right, the Hebrew word there is makasa. So you go into the blue letter. You brothers already hip to the blue letter. If you already read the blue letter, we're gonna go into it. All right.
All these tabs. Oh, there you go.
Yep. And in fact, if you go into the blue letter, right? This is why I should have did a long time ago. All right. You go into the blue letter. You get it goes makasa means a covering of the ark, covering of the skins of the tabernacle. Okay, the root word is kasa, a covering of a tent, right? So let's see what the precepts are. All right, you have. I'm gonna give an example, then we're gonna get to the banger. All right, in Exodus 26:14, and thou shalt make a covering for the tent. All right, so that means you're supposed to put Christ over the tent. You know, it's talking about a little covering, a ram skin dyed red, and a covering above badger skin. All right, so
go to the root word. Go up. The root word.
Okay, we're gonna go to the root word, Salaki. Now we're gonna go to the root word,
which is that which with the root word kasa, it ties up with that kata calypto definition, not the kata definition.
To conceal, to cover, to hide, to conceal, cover, to be covered, to cover, clothe. Okay, so let's see if it literally means to not cover your head. Genesis 24:65. All right, we might have to make it a little bigger for this nigga. Might have to make it a little bigger, bro. All right, for she had said unto the servant, what man is this that walketh in the field? Because guess what? Women are supposed to cover their heads, right? She said, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna read that. It says, for she said unto the servant, what man is this that walketh in the field to meet us? All right. And the servant had said, it is my master. Therefore, she took a veil and covered herself. All right? Because women are supposed to literally cover their head. She took a veil and covered herself. All right? So that word kasa goes back to makasa. And that makasa, translated into the Greek, is kata calypto. But in that specific verse, kata, basically, kasa is equivalent with kata. Once you do in-depth research, all right? You go into the New Testament, it's going to say makasa. Makasa goes back to kasa. And therefore, kasa is this exact word. Covered, he covered herself. And what is a veil? A wrapper. All right, shawl, a woman's veil, a veil. Okay, so this is something that literally, physically cover you up. Clown?